It's the agents of Sigmar.
And we're back with another quick talking head for you. Big news in the Mirrored City this week was the arrival of FAQ version 1, which didn't really make sense to me in the first place. It surely should have been version 2, but anyway.
Well, it depends. Depends on whether you're looking at the Underworlds FAQ or the Nightvault FAQ.
Well, I was looking at Underworlds. The game is called Underworlds. Anyway.
We digress already.
It doesn't matter. The new FAQ came out. It doesn't matter what number it was. It was a new one. It replaces all the old ones, so everything in that one overwrites what was in the old ones. And we are now in the Nightvault world. Well, Pete and I noticed, and we weren't the only ones who noticed, there are one or two talking points about the new FAQ document. When not least the removal of tokens, or the idea that tokens denote charges are moving and things. If you haven't got them, then you haven't done those things effectively. In pretty much all cases. But what I was really looking for, and I don't know whether you were, Pete, but what I was really looking for was a resolution on the Nighthawk push move issue. Now I know there's many of you out there don't think it's an issue. You think that it clearly says move, therefore it only means move. I sort of agree with that point of view, but I do think it's confusing when you're pushing somebody. Okay, yes, they're being pushed, but you do move the models, and just from a aesthetic point of view or from a narrative point of view, move through things. So it doesn't matter whether they're running or moving slowly, or I don't know how you push a ghost, but they move through stuff. So for me, they should always be able to move through stuff. But not everybody agrees. But I was really hoping that Games Workshop would resolve that, and there's absolutely no mention of it whatsoever.
Yes, it is a bit annoying.
Yes, that's what it is. And I guess maybe they didn't have time to actually think. If they were going to make a decision, they didn't have time to play it all through and see which was the right way. I'm not sure it makes that much difference, actually, because I was thinking about it. Let's say you can push them through. You actually have to be right next to them, right next to your opponent, to be able to do it, because you can't push, if you're any more than one space away, you can't push through somebody or something because you land on the square. So, but
it does allow you to score that objective, which is move people through.
Oh, it's so easy to score that objective. Well, there are quite a few easy objectives to score. There are quite a few easy to score objectives in the game, and that one it's marginally easier, but it's not much easier.
No.
So I feel that again, I don't really mind which way it's resolved. It could just been done with being resolved.
It does help you circumvent block hexes a bit more. Because obviously, if you're swarming forwards, if your opponents manage to set the boards offset and they've got one of the boards with blocked hexes, they could try and funnel you, so you have to come round those, and that does then slow you down more, and that is a way of then combating the Nighthawks by using their numbers against them. But that's a valid tactic to use against Sepulchral Guard or anybody really.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't considered that, but I think it's. I don't really mind which way it's resolved. It could then be resolved, and for me, that should have been in the first FAQ.
It's surprising to me that they never came across that in playtesting, really.
Yeah,
I would have thought that would have been... Because, I mean, we played the first game, and I think we did that straight away.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I find it fascinating continually when playing these games, how different people read things. It never occurred to me that it didn't count as a push. And there are other people out there, and probably more so, of this opinion, that never occurred to them that it would be a push. So it's just really funny that some people coming from this from very different angles and are absolutely adamant they're right, and arguing about it. And it's like, well, actually, there is no right. It's just an interpretation, and until the rules makers actually officially codify what the rules interpretation is, it's up in the air.
Yes, I've learnt by now in Shadespire and in most things in life that what I think is actually the truth is very much normally not the case.
Yeah, I do. Sorry, I interrupt you. I seem to be very good at interpreting things incorrectly.
Yes. So which way do you think it is, Robin?
Well, I think that actually, I have to say I don't think the push. I think it's going to be resolved that the push doesn't count. But I think I felt like, from my first reading, that it did count. So
yes,
I'm going to sit on the fence there and think both things.
And somehow still get it wrong at the end. Yes, it is a bit frustrating. It is quite an obvious one that they should have been able to answer fairly quickly in the FAQ, considering some of the other things that they have already answered. Which brings us on to our next point.
Time Trap. The resolution of Time Trap has changed in a bizarre way, which I think nobody was expecting or looking for. Basically, now the text says, when a ploy allows a fighter to make an action but does not specify an action, the fighter cannot make an action that would not normally be allowed by the rules of the game. In the case of Time Trap, if the fighter had a move token, they could not make a move or charge action, as the rules forbid a fighter with a move token from making a move action. And a charge action always includes a move action. However, if the fighter has a charge token, this ploy would still allow them to make any action, as a charge token simply prevents that fighter from being activated, which is just ridiculous.
It makes... Yeah, I understand the logic that they've used, but at the same time, it feels to me like they could have used that logic to come up with a completely different answer and a better one at the end of it, to me.
Well, if a charge action is a move action and an attack action, then they have made a move action. So they can't therefore charge because it includes a move action, even though a charge token technically means they can't be activated. That's almost like... It's almost the reason they've said that is so that you don't try and attack with it after you've charged. That's the reason why it says you cannot activate them again. And it's almost like they've caught themselves in a double whammy of the English language. So they've used the wording to stop you from making an attack action, and now they've been caught out by the fact that they've got this new card, which means you can make a move action and a charge action. And to me, it's it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense why you could move. And then not be able to do anything, but if you effectively moved and attacked in the previous go, you could then move and attack again. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it frankly, it makes Time Trap a must-have in every offensive deck, because the chance to be able to... One of the inherent things in the game which stops you going over the top is that if you power up on your fighters massively, like you massively big up your Fuel Grimnir or your Gerzag or something like that, and you charge with them, that's it. They can't do anything else. The charge stops them from activating again. But this card will let you do 2 charges with your OP Fuel Grimnir or Gerzag or Magor or whoever you've bigged up to the hilt, and it enables you to charge twice with pretty much no real, backlash at all. I mean, yes, you have to then forgo your next activation, but who cares? You just got 2 charges off with your Uber Gerzag. You have a much higher chance of taking 2 people out in effectively what is sort of one turn. And if your opponent's someone like Stormcast with just 3 people, that could be just absolutely devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think it's a terrible decision. I mean, I wouldn't play. That's a bit. I don't play competitively anyway, but I think I would. I feel so strongly about this. I think it would actually ruin my enjoyment of the game as a competitive thing of having this card in it, because I feel like I'd have to take it, even though I don't really agree with it, and I know my opponent would take it. So every time it got to the middle of the game and it was quite tense, I'd be waiting for it to come out, and possibly that'd be effectively the end of the game. Like you say, if you were playing Stormcast, it could effectively be the end of the game.
Yeah, or vice versa. If you have a Stormcast character who's bigged up to the hilt, who's near unstoppable, they could end up taking out 2 people. I mean, most warbands aren't huge. No. Most warbands are 4 or 5 people, so this gives you the opportunity to possibly decimate, or even more than decimate, but take out half or 2/3 of an opposing warband in a lot of situations.
Well, yeah, exactly, and almost like chain the charges so that you can get from the defensive guys who are covering the leader, and then so to get to the Sepulchral Guard or to Scritch, not the Sepulchral Guard, the Warden, or to Scritch. You can chain those charges to do that, which is a bit rubbish. And I suppose on a looking at a positive way, it means again.
And it's the kind of thing where even if you're, you can say everyone can use it, so you can still power up your Scritch and use it on him, or you can power up your Briar Queen and use it on her or whatever. But they're still not as powerful as your Gerzags and your Fuels and stuff like that. And it just feels to me like every competitive game is going to be a case of who gets the Time Trap in the right place.
Exactly. I mean, even if you can, everybody can use it. That's not an argument for it being good, because you could have given everybody a laser cannon, but it wouldn't make the game any better. Laser
cannons make everything better. But yeah, and it's another nail in the coffin, I think, for objective decks. And I know I mention this a lot, but I think objective decks suffer even more with this, because you can argue, but it enables you to do 2 moves with 2 different people. Who cares? You just put 2 more of your people in range of their headhunters.
Yeah, you don't need that, because unless it's the damage to the damage to objective decks isn't done at that time. It's done at the end of the phase on things like with Great Concussion and stuff like that. So being able to move there slightly early. Occasionally it's good to get on the objective early, but rarely is it you need to do 2 in a row. I've never thought, what I really need to be able to do is move 2 people. Whereas I've often thought, what would be really good now if I could charge twice with Gerzag.
Yes, now I've given him all of my massive upgrades and made him a killing machine.
Exactly. And it just, to me, it doesn't sit well with me at all.
No, it's left a bad taste in my mouth, the overall ruling.
Yeah, I think so, and I think maybe it will change. Maybe people don't care. Maybe from a competitive perspective, it doesn't matter. But to me, it's lessened the game a little bit for me. And actually, I think Pete and I have decided that we won't play it in our games because it's.
Have we? I never agreed to that. Yes, I did.
Well, I agreed we would do it. I didn't say I would. No, but so
yes,
Pete and I have agreed
we
that we won't.
so much to it that we will not be using Time Trap in any of our decks.
No,
ever.
Just because for us, from an entertainment perspective, I don't think it's as exciting for you guys to watch.
Who's going to get the Time Trap card?
Yeah, one of our massive guys charge somebody else and take them out. So let us know what you think. That's a good decision or a bad decision, or you want to see Time Trap played, or you don't want to. You're glad about it. Let us know what you think. Do you think the ruling is ridiculous? Put it in the comments below.
And bear in mind, we're not arguing here whether GW's decision is the right decision from a rules perspective, because obviously they write the rules, they can make the decisions. But do you think it's a good ruling for the game and for players in general? And you can argue that, well, everybody gets it, so everybody has a fair stab, but does that actually level the playing field? I think it still skews it.
Yeah, I think so. And I just think it's a bit like, these are where all my things come down to, and it doesn't make sense to me, and that I think I have to get away from that a little bit, because I don't think the way these games are written that they're actually necessarily meant to make sense. But a bit like the 9-hole push thing, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense to me. The fact that you, as I said, if you've already moved, you can't use Time Trap to charge, but if you've charged, which includes a move, you can. I mean, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it definitely. Whilst I can see the logic by going by the wording of the rules,
yes,
it still doesn't make sense to me to go this way with it. So
yeah, even the token even has a move action thingy on it. So
that is true. That's the other thing that bugs me: the fact that the charge token has a move and an attack icon. If it's got nothing to do with actually moving or attacking, then have a different icon. Call it something else. Call it the exhausted icon or something like that, so they can't be activated again, or something like that.
I just think they've been trapped by their wording, and they've tried to fix it. And I think, although this fix makes sense on one level, it doesn't make sense on a wider, more abstract level.
And it might be that they know and that they've made this decision because it's the right ruling as per the rules as they are. Maybe they're sitting there thinking, we shouldn't have done it this way. It's it's an unfortunate thing that they've missed, but I don't know. They have the power to change it. They made a change with the relics during Relic Gate, so maybe this is Time Trap Gate, and maybe they'll make a ruling on that as well.
Maybe so.
So let us know what you think. This is our second, third, fourth, maybe Talking Head video. Let us know if you like the format, if you enjoy listening to us witter on, if there are any subjects you'd like us to cover, and if you'd like to be a guest on this little piece. We are starting to ask people to come along and be part of it, but we are asking our Patreon supporters first, so you will have to come along and sign up there if you want to get involved on this side of things. But it is only a little bit of money, a couple of dollars a month, and you know what, you get things a week early and you get it ad-free, so little pluses for you there.
And you get to just talk to us directly and see how much we litter on.
How exciting is that? You can't get much more exciting than
that. I mean, there are very few better offers in the world, really, than that.
For $2 a month, I think it's the best offer you'll ever get. So let us know what you think, and we shall speak to you soon.
Yes, thank you very much for listening.